a terrible, terrible cold. And so I'll have to dabble at my nose from time to time because it's still runny. I still have a runny nose from last night. It's the worst cold that I have ever had since being here in the Philippines. But it is just a cold. I don't have much of an itchy throat and all the other stuff that comes with it. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this live is because all the talk that's going around about the new regulations in the Philippines about vlogging. Anime is here. Your number one anime, don't ever change. Good morning. Sam Gloves is here. Oh, honey, do we have gloves? Do we have any latex gloves for Sam Gloves?
We don't
have. What happened to my box of gloves? I'm sorry, Sam. I have no gloves because we left in bye-bye. Oh my gosh. I even have a mark. Sam's gloves. Oh my gosh. Thanks everybody for being here. We don't have any disposable gloves. I'm so sorry. I should have some, Sam, because I'm fighting this terrible cold right now. I don't want to put my hands on everything, and contaminate everybody. Anyway, we're here in Cebu. I want to talk a little bit about these new regulations on vlogging in the Philippines. Everybody's blaming this guy Vitali. I never watched Vitali, I probably wouldn't have. He didn't seem very interesting to me. But anyway, people are putting their own spin on this all over the place. It's starting a whole bunch of controversy, saying that this may very well be the end of vlogging in the Philippines. Da, da, da. But I'm not so sure that that's going to be the result. I think that all the Philippines is trying to do is to self-regulate the vloggers. And how you self-regulate them is you make a new set of rules and regulations that people can follow. They give you a remedy if something goes haywire. For example, let's say that you're out in the public and you inadvertently capture somebody in your video that did not want to be captured, and they are easily recognizable on film. They have the right to request you to blur their image so that it doesn't appear in there. Now, there may, in fact, be a regulation that says blur everybody's background image. And even if that were true, I don't see a problem with doing that, because most of the AI programs, most of the video editors already provide the blurring or the masking feature as part of their program. And so if you fed a video into your AI program and you say blur the background people, it would do it for you. It would do it quickly. I don't see this as being any kind of a big deal, but what I do see as being a big deal are those of us who do giveaways. We do giveaways. I think for myself, it's easy enough for me to do videos without having to show people in the video. But if you do want to show people, it's not saying that you can't. You just have to obtain their permission. So what's the big deal? What's the big deal? You should have been doing that all along. You should have been asking everybody for their permission who ends up in your frame. You'll notice that we've been through this before in Thailand, that this is a law that already exists there. Now, everybody's saying that this is a new law and everything like that, but whenever I put this information into ChatGPT, which has never been wrong, giving me an answer thus far, but it could be wrong now, I ask them, is this a new law? And they say, no, it's not a new law. It's a new set of regulations that must be complied with. And you have to familiarize yourself with those regulations. And then it refers me back to the 2012 law that already existed. I don't want to bore you too much with all the details, but I can if you ask me to, because I'm kind of a boring guy. right? Mel is here. Mel is in the house. Mike, how are you, Mike? How's everything in Canada? So let's go over the things that I think are going to affect me personally, because there are one or two things in there. Like I said, the background thing is no big deal. Who cares? My motivation was not to show background people in the first place. Why would I have any kind of problem with blurring their image in the background, right? If I'm talking about the Temple of Leah, or if I'm talking about the Philippine Taoist Temple, how are people in the background going to enhance that experience for you? I'd rather they not be in the background. As a matter of fact, over at Temple of Leo, did I say Leo? They kept pushing me out of the way. Get out of my way, vlogger. Get out of my way, Kano. Can't you see I'm working here? And there were people with fancy equipment. Of course, I didn't complain. I didn't complain to them that they were taking my image because I don't have a problem with it. Maris, you know what I did for them? I danced for them. I danced for them while singing God Bless America. I doubt if any of that shows up in any of their videos. People are always trying to get in the picture. That's the deal, Mike. They're not trying to get out of the picture. But what if you caught, I don't know, some government official with his girlfriend? That would be bad, right? You inadvertently caught them on film where you were filming in downtown Manila near the government buildings or the courthouse. And let's say he was with somebody that he wasn't supposed to be with, or she wasn't supposed to be with, then you are in trouble. You are in trouble. So in my opinion, listen, this is somebody is sending me a 9-page document, and they're like, here, read this. Vlogging is over in the Philippines as we know it. The whole world is coming to an end. But let me tell you how this may affect you. If you do a giveaway, I'm going to go into more details later if you want to hang around. I'm going to be as quick as I possibly can on it. I'm going to even give you ChatGPT's answers straight from the horse's mouth. But before I do that, and they've never been wrong, but this could be the first time because people are bombarding me already with emails saying that I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm not even telling you what I'm going to do. Oh, yes, I am. I'm doing this. So I asked ChatGPT. I said, I do giveaways, ChatGPT. I do giveaways. Mike is saying, how come they can take our pictures all around the towns and cities in the Philippines CCTV? Well, you got me on that one. That's a good point. I mean, I don't think that you have a right to privacy if you're the government entity and you're filming people walking around downtown. I don't think that you have a right to privacy because it's the governmental entity, and that's one of the exceptions. And by the way, there are exceptions to these new vlogging regulations, which people have told me are already in effect. But if you go back and you look at my videos, I'm being very careful practicing not showing people in the frames. Now, I realize I've caught a few people in the frames, and so long as they don't complain, I'm in really, really good shape. But no, I'm not going to, turn into a totally talking head video format where I don't have to worry about this. People that are saying that this is a big deal are overreacting. We don't even have all the details yet. There's going to be a certain amount of pushback from people that are in the tourist industry and things like that. How could the tourist industry want to take a hard line on these new regulations when they rely upon the YouTube vloggers to bring people into the Philippines? So you see my point. So there's going to be some adjustments. I'm not panicking about this. This is in its infancy stage. Griselda's here. Chrissy Mama's in the house. So let me tell you something. But if you have giveaways, there's a regulation that says that you have to publish a privacy notice. I don't know if it's in the beginning or the end of your video or in the description, but I asked ChatGPT, I'll ask him later if I post it in the beginning of the video. I think that's what was implied. Mildred is here. Hi, Mildred. But hey, Dan, enjoy the decline. Yeah. I love that name. I am enjoying the decline, quite frankly. Oh my gosh, that's a sweet, sweet name. Let me give you a jacket for that. Add as moderator. Oh, enjoy the decline. Hilarious. All right, so now, new rules. I had ChatGPT forward this to my other phone. And so let me give you the disclaimer that ChatGPT said that I should be giving in the beginning of every live stream, and it should probably be in my description section, because I do giveaways. And this, of course, this caught my attention. Of course it did. Disclaimer. Let's see. Let me bring it up. It's in a document. I have to find it. It's in a Word document. I do apologize for not being prepared. All right. So it actually put it in script format for me, and then I'm going to give it in script format to you. Now, it did not distinguish that a Filipino has to do this, that an American has to do that. They're just regulations that say to do this, do these things, if you do this. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, I do giveaways. They said, giveaways? Oh, you have to put this disclaimer right at the beginning of your videos. I'm going to make a script for you, and I'm reading you the script now, and then this is going to give you an idea of what they're looking for. I'm going to read it right off my phone, my other phone. Thank you for visiting Dan and Minnie's Journey on YouTube. I value your privacy and am committed to protecting your personal information. This channel primarily features content where I, Daniel Herrera, speak on camera. I do not knowingly collect, record, or process personal data from viewers, subscribers, or members of the public through this platform, except when voluntarily provided, such as in giveaways, contests, or direct communication. Key, that's the key. If you choose to participate in giveaways, contests, or any activities that require providing personal information, such as names, email addresses, or shipping details, please be assured that your information will only be used for the stated purpose, contacting the winners and sending prizes. Your personal data will not be shared with third parties without your consent. Of course, I would never do that. Why would I do that? All information will be handled with strict confidentiality and stored securely. This channel complies with the Data Privacy Act of 2012, RA 10173. You have the right to access, correct, or request the deletion of any personal information you have provided. And of course, that includes your image. If you have any concerns, privacy requests, or questions, please contact me at megadan22@hotmail.com. By continuing to watch, interact, and participate in this channel's activities, you are giving me permission to collect up that privacy information. Thank you for your trust and support. Dan and Minnie's Journey. Des is here. Hi, Des. Hi, everybody that I didn't give a shout out to. Shout out, shout out. So you see, that's all there is to it. Now, if you did that in the beginning of every video, you're probably going to be cool. You're probably going to be in good shape. So can I sue you for $1 million or not? Sure, you can. You'll probably win. Everybody does. Everybody does. I just wait till everybody wins and then I file for bankruptcy. That's how I handle that, Nitban. Or that's how I've handled it in the past. It's worked out just fine. I let them spend all their money on lawyers, and then once they win, I declare bankruptcy. They are pissed. But I warn them in advance. I send them a letter saying, hey, I got nothing, and so if you sue me, I'm going to go bankrupt. And so I'll wait till everybody sues me, until I owe 10 or 15 million dollars, and then I will go bankrupt. That's how you do it. You got to So anyway, all right, so that's the disclaimer. What's the big deal about that? You share with me in the comment section below. Do you see a problem with it? Do you personally see a problem with it? Now, it has crossed my mind that you people doing reels on Facebook and other places, TikTok and the like, might run into a little bit of trouble. Yeah, it has crossed my mind. Who's here? Ebony is here. Good morning to you, Ebony. How are you? You said hello to me the other day, didn't you, in a chat message? Thank you. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Ramirez here. Tim Desiak in the house. So you see, there's some nuances that are going to be things that you have to comply with depending on what type of videos you put out. But I would imagine that if you're in a public venue, Nitban, get your attorney on the phone for me. Can you fact check this? I'm going to put myself out there. The venues that you go to where you have to purchase a ticket will probably put the disclaimer on the back of the ticket, like at Disneyland. I believe Disneyland already does this. There's a disclaimer on the back of the ticket, and it says, by purchasing this ticket, you agree to, and then it's going to list 4 or 5 things, and one of them is being caught in somebody's video. You're giving implied consent by the very purchase of this ticket. And there would be a big sign posted out right in front. And you'll know in advance that you're giving implied consent to have your photo taken because you're in a dang tourist attraction. You're at the top. You're on the top of the world. You're at the Temple of Leia. You're in the Rose Gardens in the White House. You're where people expect their pictures to be taken. And that actually is your fail-safe position. See, if someone were to sue me because they got caught, right? They got caught up in one of my videos in the background with somebody they weren't supposed to be with, which caused them a lot of money in their divorce separation agreement. Then I'm going to say, you were in a public place that people normally travel. You were there because everybody is there. That's going to be my defense. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not trying to give you legal advice on what you should do. But everybody's panicking, going, the end of vlogging in the Philippines. Well, then it would have been the end of vlogging in Thailand because Thailand has the same rules. How many hundreds of videos, if not 1,000 videos on Thailand have I posted? Most of them only got 30 or 40 views, by the way. Where somebody has come back and sued me because they got caught up in the picture. You'll see that guy, Unseen Thailand, Nitban knows who I'm talking about, that will go right up to you and say, and will ask you, would you like to be on YouTube? Folks, it's as simple as that. If you want to get more, if you want to lock it down 100% so it doesn't ever come back at you, have them sign a very, very simple waiver saying that they gave you permission. I've been known to pay people and not disclose it. And my defense would be, I paid them for their time. Your Honor, as they're locking me up for 20 years. So no, I don't expect that anything is going to change. Look at the type of video content you put out. Tim Dziak doesn't even show people in his videos. I will make fun of it because that's the kind of sense of humor that I have. I will make fun of it by showing feet, by showing people's rear ends, by showing, I don't know, whatever, the mirror, the bus driver's mirror, stuff like that. Insert here, I'll be doing stuff like that, but I won't be showing people's faces. And if I do, remember, they're going to be blurred in the background. But if you give away, if your entire existence on YouTube is you're doing giveaways, you have to put that disclaimer in there according to the 2012 law. So everybody's saying, no, Dan, you're off base. I'm going to tell you exactly what people have been telling me. I don't mind sharing it with you because I very well may have missed the point of this. I always miss the point, and I could have missed the point this time. They're saying, no, Dan, this is a whole new law. This is a whole new, but every time I ask, is this a new law? My answer that I get from government officials is no. It's a self-regulating document. It says, be good. Don't be an ass. Be a nice vlogger. Welcome people into the Philippines. Don't scare them away. See, but speaking to that, if you lie, if you blatantly lie on a video, you're going to get in deep, deep trouble if somebody calls you on it. So you don't libel anybody, right? You definitely don't make up stories about situational things and put them on your video, because you're going to be called on it, and you'll be called and brought down hard, just like Vitelli. You can't do it. You can't do it. And so if you start spewing garbage about somebody and you don't have anything to back it up, and even if you do, it doesn't matter. You can still get in trouble for that, even if it's all true, right? They're requiring you to get their permission before sharing it online. So I see problems in TikTok and people doing reels on Facebook. I don't know how you're going to handle that if other people are in the story. But so far, I guess it could be a problem, I'm thinking. But then again, mostly in TikTok videos, you're dancing, you're singing, you're doing this, you're doing that, and it's only you and your brother, your sister, your father, your parents, your child. It's only you and your close friends that are involved, and I doubt that you're going to have any kind of a problem whatsoever. But you might think about putting this type of a disclaimer on your Facebook page just to make sure that you're covered, in the event that something happens. I'm not sure that it would be a problem. I'm not sure that it wouldn't be a problem. But so you're going to see this. It's going to be probably this video that I'm doing now, giving this disclaimer. Mike says you're assuming common sense is common. Yeah, that's right. If you don't have common sense, maybe you shouldn't be vlogging, right, Mike? That's common sense. Oh, wait a minute. I just went around in a circle. I just made a huge circular argument. I get where you're going with that. It's funny. Let's see, Dan, can we ask a question about the bombing? Have you noticed people in the Philippines worried about it? No, I haven't noticed it. And I'm not sure. I'll tell you where I'm a little concerned about it, Mike. It's not about, it's not about looking up, and seeing the yeah, it's not that. What I worry about is being in a place where, a fatwa has been given, some kind of fatwa. You know what a fatwa is, if I'm saying it correctly. And that, would be problematic for a guy like me. Because the State Department in the United States did issue a warning to people all over the world, and it was one of caution. It said, be cautious, be aware of your surroundings, and like that. And so I think you know what I'm saying there. Things happen, things happen where tourists are, when events like this occur. They happen. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit, I would be lying to you if I didn't just come out and say, that I wasn't a little bit concerned. Tim is saying, if you put all the disclaimers in the front of the video, we'll make the video 2 minutes longer. Yeah, and I worry about that. And so I will be asking ChatGPT and others, can I put my disclaimer in the description notice of every video, or something? What I'm going to ask for advice. What do I have to do? What do I have to do so it doesn't have to be in the front of of every single video? But we have a guy. There's a guy in Angeles that you might know, Leon. Leon does this. He puts a little short tagline on his videos, and it says something like, if you have seen yourself in one of my videos and you don't want me to be there, please contact me and I will remove your image. So there's Leon. So in other words, Leon knew, but Leon knew probably because he's been getting, complaints, from people, because he likes to go down the walking street and take video, and everybody knows what you're doing down there. You're drinking and doing other things. Debauchery might be involved. I don't know. Things might be involved, and people don't want you filming down there. They don't want their face, their image shown down there. Especially if they're going to be in church doing the sermon on Sunday. I definitely wouldn't want my face being showed there. God repairs is here. Lazy Larry Lee, Annie, Avancina, Sina. Ebony hanging in there with us. Let's see. Dan, put a sign on your t-shirt, your disclaimer. That's not a bad idea. That's actually a pretty good idea. That's a pretty good idea. I like that one. Yeah, I might print the t-shirt and get rich. I might print the t-shirt and make money. Charmaine is here. So I know a lot of you here, you do the giveaways. Contact somebody. Contact somebody and talk to them about this disclaimer if you do giveaways. I full well understand the need for giving that disclaimer. I kind of see where where the Philippines is going, and YouTube should have made this a requirement. I don't know that it's not a requirement. I'm looking around for the Philippine rules. Now, generally, I'm going to talk about it. That's how it applies to me. Rendering content. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, this is called, so everybody's going to yell at me. I know, I'm already getting emails. Listen, some of you are revealing yourself, but there are one or two of you that aren't, that are sending me, you're busy sending me emails with your comment. Now, okay, so I don't know if I'm going to answer your question. I might by reading you this. It is, the primary act is the Cyber Crime Prevention Act of 2012, RA 10175. The law applies to all online content creators, including YouTube vloggers, cyber libel. It talks about cyber libel, how it's a criminal offense, defamatory statements in videos, live streams, comments, or captions can lead to criminal liability with penalties up to 12 years in prison. So if you're getting my drift, they've always had these privacy laws on the books. They've had anti-eavesdropping laws on the books that can be nuanced to fit underneath this umbrella. And that's why you have to be careful, cognizant of what you're doing all the time. The Data Privacy Act of 2012, RA 10 or 10173. You must obtain consent before filming private individuals, especially in private or semi-private settings. Unauthorized publication of personal data, which includes their image, of course, can result in civil or criminal penalties up to $5 million in fines and or imprisonment. COMELEC Resolution 11064. Here's the 2425 caveat that they added that is directed towards election cycles. During election periods, vloggers participating in political endorsements or campaigns must register their channels with COMELEC. AI-generated content must include visible and spoken disclaimers. Now here, they're trying to cover people that are going to use AI to use somebody's image or picture and go like from picture to video, endorsing a candidate or endorsing a law or endorsing a proposal that they simply did not endorse. And so they're thinking of everything. They're way, way ahead of the curve on the AI thing, I believe, my own personal opinion. NBI enforcement against fake news. The NBI is actively monitoring vloggers for misinformation and disinformation. Creators may be investigated and issued show cause orders if found spreading false content, especially related to politics and elections. That is absolutely a no-no. And that's also under the 2425 statute. I guess you call it resolution. Folks, these are resolutions. So I think I said regulations. They're resolutions. So folks, all those vloggers out there that are out there right now going, the sky is falling, the Philippines has a new law. Wah, wah, wah. That's all I have to say to you. It's a self-regulating resolution. They want us to behave ourselves, and we should be behaving ourselves. We are guests here in the Philippines. Proposed Digital Council of the Philippines. This is pending. This proposal includes self-regulation for vloggers through a digital council. Self-regulation for vloggers through a digital council. You could be on that team. It would develop a code of ethics. Thank you. Thank you, Philippines. Thank you. We've needed this for a long time. It'll handle complaints and may eventually require vlogger registration, still under legislative discussion. Did you hear that? Still under legislative discussion. Did you hear that? Under BIR, Revenue Memorandum, monetized vloggers must register with the BIR. They must issue receipts and invoices and pay taxes on YouTube earnings. This applies to self-employed or business earning content creators. Now, they're moving in for the taxes. They're moving in for their share because they're probably leaving a bunch of money on the table. So there you have it. That is the whole lechon baboy, if you will. That's the whole thing. I hope you guys learned something about this. I hope you learned something. And all you guys out there, all you high rollers that get 500,000, 1 million views, and they're telling everybody that it's the end of vlogging as we know it. Well, you got my opinion on it right here. I should be very, very clear. I don't think it's the end of vlogging as we know it in the Philippines. As a matter of fact, I think it's the beginning of a new, exciting era for Philippine vlogging, you know, and so they've given us a roadmap to follow where none existed before, All right? They're enhancing it, and then we're going to self-regulate. And that's the approach that the Philippines should be taking, in my humble opinion. It's my brother, it's my sister, it's self-regulation. That's the key here. You know, we'll always call on our own when we see something that we think is a tiny bit inappropriate. You know, we'll always chime out. We'll always chime in and say, hey, that was a little spicy. That thing that thing could have been, you know, dialed down a notch. You know, we have to get away from all the sensational stuff that is manufactured, because there's enough sensational stuff going on that's the real deal here in the Philippines. We don't have to make stuff up. Just deliver the message the way it is. Daily vlogging and showing your life is really all that is needed, in my humble opinion, to be successful on YouTube. You know, that's it. You know, that's it. Show them who you are. You know, show the Philippines the way that it is. You know, show the Philippines the way that you see it. Show the Philippines the way that it actually is. You don't have to make stuff up. People are either going to enjoy it or they're not. But most people enjoy watching. You know, so that's where we're at. If you want me to email any of the stuff or send it to you in the chat, let me know and I'll share it out to you, so you also know and you're also up to date on what's going on. Especially if you're like our channel and it's a giveaway channel where we're giving away money. You know, we want to make sure you know that your information is secure and it's not being spread all over hell's half acre, or anybody's half acre for that matter. Half acre? Anyway, heck acre? Yeah. Everybody take care. Have a nice rest of your day. We will see you on the next live. Bye. I'm still